No one noticed the little boy at first. That was the strange thing. In a crowded bus terminal, buzzing with rolling suitcases, loudspeaker announcements, and tired travelers, he blended into the background like a forgotten shadow. He sat on a cold metal bench, feet dangling above the floor, hands folded tightly in his lap. His jacket was too thin for the winter air, and his eyes, wide, dark, and painfully alert, kept darting from face to face as if he were counting exits instead of people. The boy's name was Eli, and he was 8 years old. He had learned very early that being quiet was safer than being seen. Across the terminal, Officer Ramirez stood beside her police dog, a large German shepherd named Rex. Rex was calm but watchful, ears twitching, nose lifting as he sampled the air. To most people, he was just another working dog on patrol, a reassuring presence in uniformed fur. To Eli, Rex looked like something else entirely, a chance. Eli had practiced the signal in his head over and over. He'd learned it months ago from a poster taped crookedly inside a school hallway bathroom. It showed a hand, palm out, fingers folding down one by one. A silent cry for help, the kind meant for moments when your voice could get you hurt. The man sitting beside Eli shifted in his seat. His knee bounced. His hand tightened on Eli's wrist, just enough to remind him not to move, not to draw attention. "Sit still," the man muttered under his breath, smiling politely at passers-by. Eli swallowed hard. His heart hammered so loudly he was sure everyone could hear it. Rex suddenly stopped walking. Officer Ramirez felt the leash tighten slightly. Rex's body had gone still, his gaze fixed across the terminal. Not on a bag, not on a noise, on a child. "That's odd," she murmured, following his line of sight. Eli looked up and met the dog's eyes. Something passed between them in that instant. Rex tilted his head, ears forward, alert in a way that went beyond training. Eli raised his hand. Slowly, pretending to scratch his cheek. Then, with a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding, he turned his palm outward and folded his fingers down, one by one. Rex let out a low whine. Officer Ramirez stiffened. Rex didn't do that. Not like this. "What is it, buddy?" she whispered, crouching slightly. Rex pulled forward, not aggressively, but with purpose, his eyes never leaving Eli. People began to notice. "Ma'am," Officer Ramirez called calmly, stepping closer. "Is everything okay over here?" The man beside Eli laughed too quickly. Yeah, my nephew's just tired. Long trip." Eli's hand trembled as it dropped back into his lap. Rex sat down abruptly in front of Eli and let out a sharp bark. The terminal fell quiet in a strange, sudden way, like the world had leaned in to listen. Officer Ramirez didn't hesitate. She saw it now. The boy's rigid posture, the bruising just visible above his collar, the way his eyes flicked to the man beside him, then back to Rex, pleading without words. "Sir," she said firmly, "I need you to stand up." "What? Why?" The man's smile cracked. Now, security moved in. The man stood, protesting loudly, but his grip on Eli loosened. Rex stepped closer to the boy, positioning himself between Eli and the man, a living wall of warmth and protection. Eli felt something unfamiliar bloom in his chest as Rex's tail brushed his knee. Safety, real safety. When it was over, when the man was led away in handcuffs, when the questions were asked gently, when a soft blanket was placed around Eli's shoulders, Eli finally cried. He cried quietly at first, then with great shuddering sobs that shook his small frame. Officer Ramirez knelt beside him, letting him clutch her sleeve as if it were an anchor. "You did exactly the right thing," she told him, her voice thick. "You were so brave." Eli shook his head. "I was scared." She smiled softly. "Being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you ask for help anyway." Rex lay down at Eli's feet, resting his chin on his paws, eyes never leaving the boy's face. Eli reached out hesitantly and touched the dog's fur. It was warm and solid and real. Rex thumped his tail once, as if to say, "I've got you." In the days that followed, Eli's story spread, not with his name or his face, but with his signal. Parents shared it. Teachers talked about it. Police departments posted reminders. A small hand folding its fingers became a symbol of something powerful, that even the quietest voice can be heard. Eli went to live with a foster family who spoke gently and left night lights on. He started sleeping through the night. Sometimes he still had bad dreams, But when he woke up, he remembered Rex's steady eyes and Officer Ramirez's calm voice. Months later, Eli stood in a sunny park holding a small certificate that read Bravery Award. Rex sat beside him, proud and still. When Eli was asked if he wanted to say anything, he stepped up to the microphone, knees shaking. "I didn't think anyone would notice me," he said softly. But he did. He rested his hand on Rex's head. And that changed everything. The crowd stood and applauded, some with tears in their eyes. Eli smiled, a real smile, the kind that comes from knowing you are seen, you are safe, and your life matters. And somewhere in that applause was a quiet promise, echoing far beyond one little boy and one brave dog, that kindness listens, courage speaks even without words, and hope can arrive in an instant, sometimes on 4 paws, with a watchful heart and a tail that never stops believing.